We've got Big Ten Media Days next week, so we will hear from all the coaches. And I have not checked out to see which Michigan players Jim Harbaugh selected for Big Ten Media Days, but I can give
Erick,
that.
I know
Erick
Erick
All,
All.
Cade,
Cade, I saw a picture of
and
this.
was it Mazi Smith?
I
think
believe
those are.
Smith. I know for sure Erick All really. I know Erick All for sure. I don't know who I'm missing. Ronnie Bell probably. Wouldn't you? I would assume, but maybe not. It was a pic. Someone sent a picture out of this, and I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can give it a look. It's always interesting to see what the coaches select there because they typically. I know that I covered SEC Media Days for 7 years in a row, and there was only 2 players invited, and everybody would always select an offensive and a defensive player. So there's going to be representation from both sides of the ball. But they're not always the best players. They're typically near the best players, but there's also this, kind of a citizenship or leadership aspect that the coach wants to either reward those guys or represent the school in the best way with the guys that are going to represent the program in the best light as
Diplomatic.
well. A combination of players and who's not going to say something stupid.
Right, diplomatic. The most guys who can be diplomatic and who can carry a conversation and
carry a conversation. Not to be mean, but can string a few sentences together.
Right.
Yep. Hey, stick to the script. I wonder obviously with the bigger schools and things like that, if the PR department does kind of give those guys like a quick rundown of, hey, here's what let's stay here. We want to focus on the future, improvement, blah, 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 kind of team, the team speak. Because essentially you never really hear any big, quotes or anything coming out of media day from the players. I think I saw from Will Anderson, they had asked him about playing Texas A&M. Like, oh, well, what are you looking forward to? He's like, I don't think anything really needs to be said. Like, we'll handle, that on October 8th or whatever the day was. So I'm curious if that is something that, that they have their PR departments do, or maybe it's just the coaches that just say, hey man, just stick to this. Let's rock and roll. So it's always interesting.
Side note, Will Anderson, that's going to be an interesting kid to watch this fall, and to see. And I know he plays for Bama and Saban and doesn't allow for guys to have do it. But that's a kid in one of those Jadeveon Clowney type situations where only reason I believe he returned to college is because he literally was not eligible for the draft. If he was eligible for the draft, he would have been a top 5 pick. Easy. Based on the way he finished last year. So now as of now, I think he is a top 5 pick, maybe a top 3 pick right now. How does he play? Does he have a down year statistically? And then how that potentially affects Bama and his draft status. Does he fall into that Kayvon Thibodeau, type of impact? No, but it's only human.
No, I was just saying for just Thibodeau for his year.
It's only human nature. I mean, like for a kid like that, where he was rated to be like literally a top 3 pick last year, and there are some people who thought he should have been at New York at the Heisman Trophy presentation over Aiden, and justifiably so statistically. So, no, seriously,
we could get into a great discussion about that. If we've got any Alabama fans on here, they may not be too happy with Dre because, I don't know that they necessarily got that right. But, Will Anderson's crazy, talented, good. And because of the program he plays for, and I can't vouch for him as a person in terms of football character, but I'm sure it's, I doubt that there's any issue there that I just can't imagine that he's not going full throttle, full go, laser focused on the season. And then knowing that a great season, another great performance is just going to set him up for more success. And I just think the culture there is not going to let him down. Yeah. Now, in terms of the way the offenses approach Will Anderson, on the plus side for him, they can't just load up on one side to stop him. There's just too much talent on the field I can't think of the other rusher on the other side. He's phenomenal too.
Dallas Turner,
Yes,
and they've got
Thank you.
he's probably going to have a really good year just based off, like you mentioned, the
But
attention that Anderson will get.
It's kind of tough to keep up with 17 or 18 sacks and like 32 tackles for loss. That's
It's ridiculous.
He's,
it was insane.
It's
and I can already see some Michigan fans. Look, guys, relax. You know, Aiden's our boy. Yeah, I know that. I love Aiden. I was happy that my Detroit Lions drafted him. It was a double bonus for me. I'm a Michigan fan and I'm a Detroit Lion fan, so it was perfect for me. This is not a knock on Aiden. I'm just saying Will Anderson had an incredible year, and an incredible impact. So I thought he had a justifiable gripe, missing the Heisman Trophy presentation. Relax, people get like, hey. Aiden was his second pick in the draft. I understand. I was happy about that.
Yeah. I think with Will Anderson, number one, I don't think it's a concern, like you mentioned, Mark, like just with the program and seemingly the type of, guy that he is, the type of kid that he is, I think he'll be fine. But I think because Alabama lost the national championship, I think that is probably going to put him into hyperdrive to where he's really going to want to turn it on and it sounds silly, have something to prove. I'm not sure he really has anything more to prove, but it probably will still have that same team mindset to where, they'll be pretty motivated to win the SEC, go to the playoff and try to win a national championship, especially with, losing to Texas A&M in the regular season, unranked team, if I'm not mistaken at that point. But yeah, I think I would have more concern if Alabama had won the national championship. And even then, I mean, the concern would have probably gone from it's like a 0 right now. It would have been like a 2 because he just, you just don't seem to. That doesn't seem to be a big thing there at Alabama with with Saban under his regime.
But you know why, Des? You know why? It's because Saban runs a program that typically, outside the whole Jimbo Fisher, a little controversy and comments here and there, shots at NIL and all that stuff. Typically doesn't have a lot of fluff, not a lot of noise. Is business all the time, and very measured with how he answers or not answers questions based on what's going on around him.